yes, but it's 50 years.
We don't even start tweeting. Wait a minute.
It's 10:30, we're back in
Is Jimmy Carter here over at 50 years?
Sorry.
So, you guys ready for your copies and draft?
We got a couple miscellaneous motions, we wanna wait to do those.
Whenever, you guys, whenever. You wanna get those out of the way, you can, or.
We might as well.
Mind you, this is just what I put together for you guys to look at. You can change the numbers around however you want.
This.
I can tell you my thinking behind. Oh, I gave you 2 copies.
You can have one back now.
So, I'm waiting on the capital improvement from Andrea. So I just took out of the capital outlay line what was left and moved that to capital improvement reserve, which we usually do that anyway. And then I went ahead and moved economic development there because there may be things going on where there may be more capital things happening, so. And then community improvement, you guys always like to have it up there. Well, let me back up to capital improvement. We try to make sure we fund it for 5 years. I think we went out 7 years now on our plan. And we'll look at that here as soon as Andrea gets that, but we want to make sure that's funded for 7 years. And it used to be 5, but we increased that because of things coming down the pike. And then community improvement, like I said, we always try to keep it a little bit more because there's things that are happening and you'll have money for that if you need it. Equipment reserve, we had used some out of it. If you look at the very bottom, where it says total of the reserve fund, there's a total, and then there's a total of reserve funds. The total is how much is going into it, and then the total after it goes in is what you'll see. So it's almost $3 million for equipment reserve. And then GIS, that's the appraisers. She wanted to put that amount in there. And then risk management, we didn't put anything in there. There's no need to. We know we've got plenty there, and that money can always come back some. Noxious weed capital outlay, that is strictly from noxious weed, and it can only go in that fund. So the solid waste closure care, Wayne had said that approximately it would cost $6 million to shut that down. We've got it to almost $3.5 million, so we're on our way to getting that fully funded. Special highway improvement, that is, again, that's from Wayne for Road and Bridge, and there's things there that he's got coming that needs to be funded for that. And then tech office reserve is from Brad, and he said he's got a lot of technology stuff he's going to be buying, so he's going to need money there. So, I mean, you guys can change if you don't like what you see in any of those funds. You can move it to somewhere else if you don't like the amount that's going in there, or you want to change it to something else. But that was just a draft I put together for you to have some idea, and you may know of things coming that you want to see money elsewhere. So.
Did you need me?
What's it called?
What's this?
Yeah.
I'm not.
What's the far right column, the 4.9?
That is the total. That's basically for me. That's the
okay.
total that's being taken out of the general fund. It's going into reserve.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And then the $6 million you see just down there below the total reserve fund. That's the grand total of all funds outside of the general and including general. It's actually being transferred out. So
So you got 11 million, some change being transferred out to,
$6,700,000.
I was counting the 49, or about 4,900,000.
Oh, no, it's already included in that 6.7. That 4.9 is just for me, kind of, to know how much total is coming out of general, but I've included general in that 6.7.
Okay. I apologize, it goes where again, I'm sorry?
The 6.7 is split up between 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
All three accounts.
All three.
6, 7, 8
Okay.
funds, yeah. The capital improvement plan, that's what I need.
Is that not coming, was that in Excel, is that not?
No, this is a resolution, I need the chart that shows what the capital improvement plan is.
Is that?
The one thing that I had was that,
This, yeah, that's,
well, then there should be a second email.
oh, maybe, okay, let me see. Oh, here we go. This might be it. Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm gonna print this off for you guys to look at.
You know, the risk management's been sitting on 10 million all year. And this is showing $10,000 difference, 9.99. Every month through 2021, we're showing 10 million, which we decided that was the top. But here,
Right.
this is showing a 10 short.
10,000 short. I think we might have paid something out of there, let me look.
If we did, we'd have to do it this month. I don't remember anything coming.
Okay, that's not. I'm looking it up here, give me a second.
That's an awful lot of money in tech office reserve fund.
Yeah, but when tech needs something, it's not cheap.
Yeah, unfortunately.
It is not cheap. We have discovered.
He did say he's gonna be buying a lot of stuff coming up. So, but, and you can call someone up if you have questions and ask too. Did we pay something out of this management reserve this year? What? Did we pay something out of this management reserve? Cause it's a little less from the report I got.
Didn't they just pay something out of that non-resident?
I thought so. I'm gonna print the report here.
I think they did.
There was something, I think. Yeah. $10,000.
It had been 10,000 even.
Yeah. Just might remember. Do you ever report that?
I'm looking. Can you grab the printout, that's my printer in my office?
Angie, it seems like we had that same issue last year, and I just wondered if this 10 million that we're not setting in there all year should be 9.99. I think we had a $10,000 deal last year on that. And maybe the 10 million on this county fund balances has not been right.
Okay, here,
Angie, what's the fund number?
184.
184, Jeff.
What in the world?
We had something on that a year ago, but I forget now.
I know, I don't recall, because I wasn't here.
We had there was a deal.
Seems like we did.
The same deal happened last year. I just wondered if the 10 million isn't not right.
Well, we don't show anything, but on our cash account report, it says 9,990,000. That's where I got my number from, straight out of the
We
system.
had a discussion on this last year, but I
So
forget
it
now.
might be, it wasn't this year, maybe it was last year.
Wasn't this year that?
Let me look at last year's and see. We just need to tell the treasurer's
We did make
office.
the decision to move it up to 10 for safety's sake
Yeah,
on the,
but we think we've got enough there, I mean,
God, that's a lot of money sitting there.
Yeah, but.
okay, it was last year, 10,000 came out.
and see, so we're,
This sheet needs updated.
this sheet needs to be updated,
Yeah.
okay. I was thinking we talked about it.
Or to fund something else.
Yeah.
We know we can bring that down to no less than 6,
6.
but that extra could be put likely towards the capital improvement.
Right, right.
But we have to move it to the general fund next year, and then we can transfer it out. It's gotta go back to the fund it came from, can't just go to the other fund.
Mhm.
Continue.
I don't think so, but I wanna
I can't.
It's just, it's all
We're
in
the same conversation.
we already did it. Let me show you.
So it was last year, so we'll get those corrected.
Okay, if the 10's not there,
It's 9,990,000.
where's that 10 need to be? Because this bottom line here should be,
It would be 10,000 less on that bottom line,
okay,
and it'll fix.
because it has to be someplace.
Yeah, do you wanna go up, if you can update that and then fix that?
You know, comparing November of last year to November of this year, the net difference there is 7.5, and now we're moving to 6.7, which is $800,000 difference. Is there something else that needs to be moved?
On say what now?
On our November statements, or monthly statements we did, from November a year ago to November this year, there's a net difference of 7.5. More funds available than there was a year ago. And we're
Right.
moving 6.7.
Yeah, we have
Where's that
to,
other 800 at?
we have to leave so much in these funds to carry over for
So
next
that-
year.
So
So
that,
that's cash
that's
carryover.
gonna take care of that 800. Probably asked the same question a year ago, but I forget now.
It's a lot of money, yeah.
Excuse me.
the special law enforcement trust?
Yeah, I think the money doesn't really come from
That's okay.
But it goes for programs they have,
yeah,
Does it? Okay.
if I remember correctly.
For like training and
and,
stuff like that?
and, special law enforcement agencies.
Yeah, that's the sheriff's office
That's-
fund. We don't have any, you guys really don't have any
You know,
control over that until.
right.
That's their nest egg?
He does his reserves and all this, and stuff out of
Is
that.
this
doesn't he?
recycle?
Pays his reserves out of that.
Yeah.
doesn't he? And those type of things.
I just seen that it had fluctuated, you know, and I just didn't know what it was.
Yeah, it does. And, see. So now I printed off the, capital improvement plan. And if there's something you know that may be coming down the line. And it's actually, I thought we'd gone out further than 5 years. There must have been another one somewhere, but this one will work. We can go ahead and extend it out.
That airport deal, that was a grant, wasn't it? We had to come up with $270,000, is that right? It was a percentage deal? Hmm.
It's taken care of.
So the landfill cell 5 is something that's going to be coming up in 2028, is that the projection life of the last cell, I'm assuming?
Yeah, probably 2026, maybe 27, I don't know.
Well, it says in 2028, right there.
Yeah, they're projected to last 5, 6, 7 years, and before it's, yeah.
Estimated cost.
About every,
Yeah.
that often we actually have to start another one, yeah.
What?
I go back down the basement, it's quieter.
The first one we did was, it was only like close to, not even, I don't think even 600,000.
I thought it was 600.
Right, around 600,000, now I see this is gonna be 952.
I guess where I'm, not really lost, but I don't know the correct terminology, but these fund balances we get each month, you know, it fluctuates $1 million each month, for totals. $1.2 million. So at the end of November, we had sitting in reserves basically $49,374,000 end of November. Now we're saying we took 6.7 million from that, so to speak, takes it down to 37 million.
It was an
Out of
audit
49.
an audit adjustment on 12/31 of
How
2020.
does that work?
Okay.
Okay,
So let's
So is
just,
she gonna fix this
let's
number?
just say if we
I don't know,
fluctuated
Jessica
$1 million
found it,
from
not Richard.
October to November, we surely didn't fluctuate much over $1 million from November to December. Take it, let's just round number of 50. million. 6 from 50 is,
44.
and this says 37,868. So it's probably something I don't know and I don't realize it.
I'm not, this isn't all reserve
This
funds.
isn't all the reserves.
This is just the ones on this sheet.
Yeah. See, the general's got 8 million in it, and it's not on this sheet,
Okay,
which that gets you back up to 46.
47,
And there's more. There's only 8 accounts here where we've got a whole bunch here.
okay. So
They go across the top.
So,
Yeah.
okay, so if we don't have all accounts here, I mean, why don't we?
Because we're not transferring to all funds. We're only transferring to these specific funds.
Okay. So,
These are reserve funds where you guys
okay,
put back and save money. Can I see that?
okay, so,
For future.
okay, I get that. So now, and my question is, like on Road and Bridge, at the end of November, he had almost 3 million sitting there. Where does that go?
That's cash. That's cash. And so we have to look at budget and we have to look at cash. We can't violate budget law and we can't violate cash law.
Okay,
So I have spreadsheets set up that I put what their cash is and what's been deducted off that, and then what their budget is and what we can deduct off that. They have to have so much cash carryover to remain in the fund for next year. And I've already done all those calculations. So,
okay,
some of these could be budget numbers, and some of it could be, we're taking all we can because we've got plenty of cash and budget, so, and then there's cash carryover that's remaining, if that makes sense.
yeah. Okay. So if he's got, and this probably, I know this really has nothing to do with what we're looking at now, but if he's got 3 million left over after December 31st, it stays in his account, so to speak,
Right.
and then he gets his budget money at the end, 1st of January. So now he's had 3 million in his budget, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me just grab one thing here.
All right.
So like, for instance, we'll look at Road and Bridge. On the budget, he has to have $894,261 in cash in that Road and Bridge fund come January 1.
Okay.
And so, and what we're transferring out is Road and Bridge, $700,000. And so, in that cash report you have, and then he's got some expenses encumbered, because he's got some expenses that are gonna be coming out of there. And so after you take all of that out,
That's what
there'll be
we're at.
left
Okay,
over, yeah.
good enough. That explains. Thank you.
We gotta rely on Angie guiding us in the right direction. Because of the rules and regulations, the protocol in place, we gotta rely on Angie to do a lot of guiding on this, in my opinion.
With that said, we're transferring 900 out of employee benefits, right?
Okay, yeah, so employee benefits has some leftover money in it, because we've been doing really good on our
Been a
insurance.
good year.
Yeah, and so I went ahead and transferred out what wasn't needed to stay in there, less the cash carryover. And for instance, what does it have on? I have to use the official budget to find those numbers, so, let's see.
Sure glad you gotta do this.
Do what, Jesse?
I said, I'm sure glad she's gotta do this.
We gotta rely on her to guide us in the right direction.
Well, I've been doing it 17 years,
Yep.
so.
And then she's got, we got Phil to back her up,
Hey, Angie.
so.
Richard needs you. Okay. And so employee benefits has to have $283,958 of cash carryover. And so on my spreadsheet that I made, if you guys could see my whole workbook, I could show you.
Better not to.
We wouldn't know him while we're looking at it, Tim.
After we take out off that 1,013,000, is it?
Yep.
Okay, so after you take that off, you take off the 283,958, and then I take off the 900,000, that leaves 135,000 in cash in that fund, in addition to the
In
283.
addition to.
But I can't go over the budget of 967.85, so you take 900,000 off of that, and that leaves you 67,000. So I don't wanna take all that, so I figure just leave a little bit. I gotta check.
Bless her.
Yeah, surprised that. Remind me.
As far as capital improvement, I myself, I mean, just like, buying the ag and building, we bought the church over here, I mean, it's hard to sit here today and say, we plan on.
We don't know what's coming up.
Exactly.
So, I mean, with not knowing exactly where we're gonna go with this church thing, I mean, it's gonna be hard to do any sort of capital improvement planning, so to speak, with reserves we got. I mean, we can do kind of whatever, but we still need to be conscientious about spending the money, so as best as possible, we wanna.
We've got eight million sitting in there now, so.
Okay.
I can show you, shows what's in there now.
Yeah.
I had a
And
thought on this church.
then I go with
Huh?
this.
I had a
for
thought
the
on
cash
this church,
carryover.
and I asked this
All right.
question
But
a
I think
couple
we're
of weeks
gonna
ago,
transfer
a
out,
couple of
that's
branches.
left. And
Can
there's
we
the
just
remaining
push this
budget,
building
All
and
right.
a different
That makes
range.
sense.
No, because
That's
somebody
that,
50
and
years
that's- I
down the
cannot
road,
buy
they
with
wanna do
that.
it out.
Or
And
if that
of
was
course, I
left, I
said,
couldn't buy
don't
with
care
that.
about 50
All right.
years. But
Thank you.
this settlement would be the problem. We can take those bricks, we can take the inmates and have them start laying those bricks down in that basement, and that's not gonna settle. Give the inmates something to do, earn some of their keep.
Talk to sheriff about that.
Because I thought,
You stand on the garden with
I
shotguns.
thought, hey, maybe it's time the inmates start doing something. I thought that would be ideal. We get rid of our bricks and get them disposed of, and still it'd be serving the purpose, be that much less fill to put in, and
I think maybe if enough contacts are made, research be done, you might be able to sell that piece by piece for more than what you think.
That wouldn't surprise me.
So I guess at this time,
I'm thinking used bricks may be more in demand than new bricks.
I know there's a whole bunch laying around.
Too bad we can't lump sum this.
Mhm.
Well, what are you thinking?
What you recommend?
I mean, is there a situation where you want to create another fund for building the jail?
I think we got plenty of funds.
The thing is,
Originally when we was talking about 6 million or 7 million, I forget what, we was gonna pull it out, a little bit out of this fund, a little bit out of this fund. Is that still the right way to go, or should we start setting up a fund for it? If we can pull it at the time from different locations without creating an issue.
you're not gonna be able to pull from all, because they're all designated by statute on what they can be
I
used
realize,
for.
yeah.
Basically, your community improvement and your capital improvement are the two you could pull from, but you have to have something on your capital improvement. You have to have it listed on this, and you have to make a motion that you're gonna spend that.
To,
Do that.
yeah.
Unless you're wanting to make another reserve and not put some of these monies in these funds and start putting it there.
Putting it in the reserve, on the reserve, jail reserve or something.
Which one would make it easier on you?
Well,
Excuse me.
it's not really gonna make a difference to me. if you were to do the capital improvement reserve, which that would be fine, you just want it designated on this sheet that shows jail and how much.
Yeah, which we haven't put.
It's not on here, no.
Capital outlay improvement, we have not had the jail on there.
But,
You know, we sit here and we all think, hey, it's a great deal and it's gonna go, but, you know, we said we're gonna take this to the public, so when are we gonna take it to the public too? You know, it's not gonna be done till next November, next election. Maybe,
what you could do as an option, I know there's some departments that are gonna be wanting buying vehicles coming up. That's what they told me when I talked to them. We've got, right now, at the top, in equipment reserve, you have 2.1. Vehicles are gonna be more too, you know, so depending on how many you're gonna buy out of there. You could back off some of, in equipment reserve and put it under capital improvement, and then add the jail to this plan, and we can start preparing.
Nest egging.
I can't really think of any departments that really ought to be buying new equipment. We just bought a whole bunch of new equipment.
Vehicles.
I mean, vehicles even.
I think, Wayne was talking about something.
We've always wanted to buy new vehicles. And we've got more vehicles.
I know Todd was gonna be needing, wait, no, that's not the right one, never mind. But some of these, I think health and appraiser were the only two that mentioned put it into equipment reserve for, you know, possible vehicle
With
down
Fraser,
there.
we bought 2 vehicles from the Fraser
We already
last
done.
year.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking Fraser did in the
They should
health.
be.
And they may have just said that for not knowing where else to put it to. So you guys can change this all you want.
We could change it during the year if the need was actually there too, can't we?
Well,
Or is that something the regulations?
you
are
can't
about?
change from reserve to a different reserve.
Okay,
You'd have to,
We could take out a reserve.
yeah,
yeah.
you could take out a
Take out a
reserve, or you could pay it out of general.
Pay out general.
Which is what we were planning with the jail if it went through, so.
You're gonna pay for the jail out of general?
Well, we were gonna pull it from one of the funds.
Oh, one of these reserves, yeah.
We're gonna pull
A certain percentage and the rest.
We was gonna pull some out of three-quarter
Bond, so. I like to stick with that plan and not trying to reinvent the wheel, so to speak.
Right, so we need to keep that reserve up.
Knowing that anything that comes down to fight, we can fund if we need to.
Capital improvement state,
Sure.
improvements.
You can add that, the
That
jail
is,
improvement, or jail up here.
buildings or
Right,
anything.
right.
Yeah.
I just looking at the numbers here.
You know, with the unknown that's gonna be coming down the pike, is there anything wrong with leaving it the way it is at this particular time?
I guess in essence, that's kind of what I was saying, but it's kind of.
After looking at this for many years, I think we're pretty well, what we've got here is probably where we're at. There have been times that we've had to pull out of reserves for something, but most of the time that's come because of an emergency and was an unforeseen. But the thing about it was, we had it, so we could do it.
Based on my calculations on this landfill, or this capital improvement plan, going out for say 2022 to 2028, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 years, it's funded at 2.7 million. And we'll be having 8.8 in there. So you have about 6 million there, and if you did,
I think originally 6 million is what was pulling out of there to go to jail.
and then if you did, say 4 million out of risk management, you're at 10,
We was taking it down to 6, wasn't we? Yeah.
and then if you, end of next year, if you needed extra to finish funding that jail, if it's approved by the public, you should have enough to maybe take care of it without raising tax dollars.
Which we weren't doing.
We wouldn't gonna do that anyway. so,
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just saying,
right.
for anyone listening, that you can do that
Yeah.
without putting any burden on taxpayers.
That was our valuation went up to 50. That in itself's gonna bring in an extra 2.5 or 3 million. And the only thing that we kicked the budget up for this year was an extra $1 million for the hospital.
Mhm.
So other than that, next year, when we come back here next year, we're gonna be looking in this $8 million range, I'd assume, unless we end up purchasing some stuff like we did for the church and the herder's office.
Which in a sense is a piece of cake considered,
Sorry?
which was a very small drop in the bucket
Mhm.
to what the jail will cost.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Everybody content?
I'm content.
I'm content.
Okay, let me go have her start printing off the resolutions. You wanna leave it the way it's presented and as a draft form?
I'm good with it.
Okay.
I'm
We're gonna
good
have-
with it.
I'm gonna have her, just double check my numbers. We've done this, but I wanna do one more time as we print them off and then.
Good enough.
Because of the unknown, I'm not too sure, and I'll just stay with what she's proposing.
I'll go through these other miscellaneous motions that there. One I got at the top, I moved to authorize and direct the chairman to sign one tax abatement in the amount of $243.73.
Let me find it.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Then seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
That was on the tax.
Tax abatement.
Oh, sorry.
Or maybe I shouldn't do that way you was. I'm just trying to get some of the stuff off our plate, sorry.
Can't do it while the clerk's going.
Oh, and I have the original for you to sign on that too.
Oh.
And we've got special issues for those too.
Still checking on these
She's
numbers.
getting ready to print, yeah, and, I think you have another resolution.
Yeah.
I didn't attach a number to it, though, do you have?
I will.
780.
It's 81 or 2.
Let me look, here, I got it.
But didn't we,
Wouldn't it be an A or a B or something on the original resolution for this RAWS program?
Oh, yeah,
It wouldn't be a new one, it would be a letter.
right. Let me look.
did we go ahead and pass this last year? I thought we just opted out of it.
Yeah, I thought you did too.
When I'm standing here looking at it, I thought we just totally flat opted out of it. And we did.
You did.
I'm pretty sure.
That's what I thought we did.
Because nobody had applied and it hadn't been being used, so we
Well, and we had decided before we had decided that program was not a good program. It wasn't working the way it was supposed to. And we ended up,
I was informed it was not being used and nobody had used
Well-
it, so we opted out.
after that one person used it, and then they took it away from that one person because it wasn't used the right way, we opted out.
That's what I thought.
I'm sure you did.
I'm sure we did too.
I
Did
think,
you
I
assert
think
on the
that,
minutes?
I think that's right.
Yep.
Yes. I don't move we opt out this year.
Okay. We'll double check then.
That was easy enough.
Well, that was a program where if you came from certain counties in Kansas, you could come back to other certain counties. And we got talked into it. A couple of us voted, actually it wasn't only me, there was a couple of others that voted against it. Is that we would pay your student loan off. Well, the person who came in actually came in with a county employee and making good, was actually head. And we ended up, we were paying his student loan off, helping him pay his student loans off. And then the state came in and said, whoa, wait a minute, you can't do that, this guy is not eligible. Well, we'd already done it for a year or two, and yeah, it was not a good deal.
Yeah, when I do a search, it was just that there was one presented last year and that was it. A resolution.
That's what I read.
Do you wanna go ahead and make a motion to opt out since there wasn't anything in the minutes? And then we
Sure.
have that?
Yes.
So Bob's made a motion to opt out. Is that what I hear?
Yeah.
Of the
We don't have
Rural
enough.
Opportunities Zone Student Loan Repayment Program. Bob's moved,
I'll second.
John seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Did we,
I think that,
did we finalize across the street yesterday?
Yes.
Do we have insurance on that across the street?
Yes. My knowledge.
I believe so, I think I told him about it, but I'll double check.
Yeah, I know we told them.
I'm sure I did.
I didn't, but I know you and I had the conversation.
Yeah.
Make sure that they did.
Yeah. Oh, where was it at? I didn't see where it was at.
Downstairs. You done? Because we had insurance on all the other buildings except for that one as a,
there should be a 10-day grace period on that.
exactly.
Yeah, I'd say there's 10 days to let them know.
It should be your Monday income.
Yeah, I got it.
Try to keep.
Yeah, it's not in my minutes there.
I'll keep it right here.
Kind of spread out.
Keep Tim Johnson stuff out of there too.
Just something you want me to.
Well, actually, I was gonna say I have an update on that, if I'm ready now. The things out front in the building will actually be moved this afternoon, and so as soon as those things are cleared out, Randall's gonna bring over the trailer, and I was just about telling him about that. And since that trailer has electricity that you can plug into an actual outlet in the trailer, we're gonna go ahead and try plugging it in to the building itself with a heavy-duty cord and see how that works without the generator, since the things that they're gonna plug into this trailer will be plugged directly into an outlet in the trailer. We'll see how that goes.
Okay. Oh,
That's a good deal.
okay. So things will be moved from there today.
We have access to that building now then?
We do, we have the keys to that, and I need to find the property line though, because in talking to Vince, he said the first 38 feet into the property is still his. So I need to know exactly where the divide for the property line is. He said the first 38 feet are still his. So I need,
Into the property from where?
from his building, I think, 'cause he said, well, while he's moving things out, he said, remember, the first 38 feet are mine. So I need to know exactly
According to
where.
that contract.
And that's why I say I just need to make sure before we move anything that would be technically his, where the cutoff is actually.
Should be going up to, I thought the line was at
And that
the-
was just on a phone call here a few minutes ago.
I thought that line showed right at the fence.
On that contract that I presented to, that was presented to us, that Wade looked over, yeah.
Yeah.
40 feet would put it,
The first lot was X feet, and the other was 62 feet.
38 feet would dang near be that whole first little parcel in there, wouldn't it? Be over half of it.
He originally, he wanted to keep that, and then we said no.
Yeah. But it should have been, it was the edge of the church, and then 61 feet was the next footage. 62 feet, excuse me, was the next amount of footage. We'll look at it. All right?
Yeah.
I'll let him get through that.
Yep, let me move my phone.
I do mine. Another thing on this cash balance sheet you guys have, that's not including any expenditures for the month of December
Right.
or payroll, and I'm working off of numbers that were truly, those have already been taken out, so.
Okay.
So the
I
cash
knew there would
balance,
be a train, or a intersecting plane there or something.
Yeah, so
like, for instance, Road and Bridge on here says 2.7, but actually it's 2.4 after all the expenditures, then less cash carryover of 894, then amount available to transfer out 600, and then that leaves 937,000 in addition to the 894.
Okay.
that's why we are all gathered here today. Because those numbers are changing by the second.
That's why at noon, we're still here right after noon to do all this, because that's when everything's supposed to stop.
Yep.
Yeah, no cash can be collected after noon, and so basically we're shut down. So, I guess that's my question, if we're done with everything and cash is done, I guess everyone can be released like we have in years past.
Nothing's gonna be going on, so.
What are they gonna do?
There will be others, there will be some that do,
Well,
the ones who don't have anything to do will be leaving it in.
we might as well.
There'll be an issue.
Once cash is balanced, everybody can go. I just wanna make
Way it's
sure
been-
if I
way
make the
it's been in
call.
the past.
It has. I just wanna make sure when I make the call, everybody's fine with that, and I'm not gonna get my head ripped off.
No head ripping here.
Okay.
Too tired.
The end of the week.
Yeah.
End of the year.
End of the year.
It's been a tough one.
Got Don going through that, so. There's some special issue checks.
Okay.
Gotta chew it. I will take a cup of coffee though.
Hey, Jesse,
Yes, ma'am.
I was gonna show you.
You want a cookie while I'm up?
No, I do not think,
Have a cookie with it.
no.
I got all of those kind of things prepared there,
Oh, okay.
so.
Simple.
Something together, yeah.
Simple, yep. Excuse myself for a minute.
Yeah, it was 62 feet from the edge of the church to the east, or the west, excuse me.
Do you want me to call and confirm which area he's talking about before they go move that in? They're gonna do that.
38 feet ain't very far.
Did you take it to the wall?
Well, that drawing that was in that contract, I think is a little bit deceiving. I mean, like I say, when you're doing large like that, 38 feet ain't very much. So, it looked like it was closer to the wall than probably what it
So
was.
it really doesn't go to the wall.
Don't look like it.
I'd understood that it was to the wall.
Yeah. We'll get it clarified. Again, 38 feet ain't very far, so.
38 feet, he's got to mow. 38 feet, he's got to mow.
Yeah.
But we can still basically put parking right up to the property line.
Yeah.
As far as parking.
Yeah.
So it's really not going to.
I just remember that there was one lot that the church actually sat on, and then there was another lot of 62 feet. We made an offer to split that lot with him, and then he kind of was not splitting it in X amount of dollars, so. I think the drawing we were presented was from GIS and might have been a little off, making us think it was the wall, so.
See, I thought about that, but this primary, the wall is right on the property. We're back in, what they do,
They just put stuff up back then.
yeah, you know, this thing. So there is 38 feet.
There is.
Well, we'll get it clarified, for sure.
Sure,
For all.
Proper, they stake that stuff anymore,
Well,
boundary lines?
that was a good question. I'm gonna present to Wayne, as he's a licensed surveyor, if we can get ag and this one
Survey again.
done. That way, there's no question.
Right.
Yeah.
Out there where it's truck and stuff, so that's city property anyway, isn't it? That's
True.
That is not our property. We didn't buy that.
No,
We
true, but
Yeah.
we can use it for,
we can use it. I mean, we can make parking on it.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah.
Will he move his truck today?
you said he was going to.
Should have put it near around noon or afternoon.
That's where we're gonna park that.
I'm gonna call
Somewhere
it.
they're gonna park that
Where-
hazmat trailer, so we
What are we looking at?
can drive up to.
Makes sense.
Lake budget. I have no idea what that stuff is.
Now, did you see?
I wouldn't, I don't know either.
Annual.
Junior Edison,
That is
On the side,
our
examination
cost
correct.
for the employee.
Trailers not an issue.
handlebar,
Income.
handle bars. They have no.
And that would be considered the average if you had to take all the employees out of the county.
Illumination, I would say would probably be
I'm not even sure what's that.
something that would go on the, maybe road or something.
Well, yeah, I mean,
As good as what we could.
yeah, there's gonna be stuff
Coming from
higher.
Bass
There's
Pro.
gonna be
It's
stuff
lower.
So, it's middle of the road.
I have no idea what to do with the tactical force.
But that's a bargain.
One thing about it, there's nothing we can really do about it.
Oh, yeah.
Add another,
Just gonna.
That.
30%.
Losses.
Mention names, but.
Illumination, I'm guessing that's for a sign or for something.
Places I have work came in. I think one. So I think, yeah.
Well, the prices, right? It's like the candle warmers, $26.99 at Cabela's. That's exactly what the price is.
What the
Candle warmer year.
Scent things, maybe?
that's what I'm saying. This would be more than
jars. Then you got the bars, that's the cent.
It's a cent goes in.
Mm-hmm.
A goal of
So
there,
what is it used for?
Smellies, I guess.
make it go away.
There's a bulb in there that warms the smellies up top, on top of the mason lid.
2 to 3 years.
So
and then
that bulb
come in
inside there warms it up and puts
And
on
tell you.
pretty smell.
Hell,
Like a scented wax.
Scented candle wax type thing.
Yeah.
It's $2,200.
And that's out at the lake, right?
There's 1, 2, 3, 3 of those.
The bottom one's on there, it's $220 a piece, right?
AR-15 cleaning pack. Very top.
The bottom ones are
Horizons.
pedestals or, I don't know. I don't know what to find on
And sometimes I wish I didn't have one.
You have to get up those times there.
the,
Sometimes I wanna throw it out the window as I'm driving down I-35.
you shouldn't be holding your phone while you're driving.
Well, I'm using Bluetooth.
Oh, I guess.
I pull off the
Can't
stop
connect 70 miles away. You can't connect 70 miles down the way.
My phone rings while I'm driving down the road. They'll wait till I get stopped and pull over, because there's nothing that important in this.
I can tell my pickup to answer it, and it will answer it at work. And I can talk to them, and my hands will never leave the steering wheel. Do I recommend it? No, because usually those kind of calls I don't want to touch.
They win.
Did you find anything?
So,
All in, everything we just was looking at.
We need to move on each one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if Jesse's got them all.
well,
Are you done?
it looks to me like
I need to put that back in order.
Okay. Goes on top of this.
It goes on top of that.
Okay, let me see those. All you have to do is sign there, right?
Yep.
Okay.
I looked at every one over $100 plus. This one here doesn't have hardly any training in it. There for 2 or 3 months when Tom took office, there's a lot of training. Yeah, that's set there's the bottom, that's in between.
what's not that? I don't know what these buttons are. That's the only place, isn't it?
It's all right, I'll start.
Go ahead.
So, resolution number 633-E, resolution resolution transferring funds to the Coffee County Technology Office Reserve Fund. The Board of Coffee County Commissioners is the governing body of Coffee County and is charged with the ultimate responsibility for accounting for the funds of the county. And the board deems it proper to best use certain budgeted funds by transferring the same to the Coffee County Technology Office Reserve Fund to account for and partially fund the year-to-year costs associated with the technology department. The fund shall be non-budgeted and may receive funds from any legally available source. that there shall be transferred to Coffee County Technology Office Reserve Fund for the following amount from the listed source. General Fund, Technology Department, $20,000. General Fund, Technology, Training and Equipment, $155,000, for a total of $175,000. Expenditures shall be made from the fund to support the Technology Office upon the approval of the department head and the board. A copy of the resolution shall be given to the Coffee County Treasurer so that the necessary transfer may be made. That this resolution shall be effective from and after its approval by the board of the Coffee County Commissioners of Coffee County, Kansas, dated this 30th day of December, 2021. Just moved.
I'll
Trying
second.
to second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Resolution,
Excuse me, Angie, can a person just read these two lines here?
Yeah, you don't have to read
That's
them.
what always.
I don't wanna interrupt, but I think we probably just read these two lines and be satisfactory, and
If you want to say the amount,
you can say the
you
amount,
can say
maybe.
that, but
That way you wouldn't have to read the full page, but that's,
okay?
I wasn't sure what was right, but I think I could short.
If you watch it, most people won't understand half of the things said anyway.
So we just need a motion to approve year-end transfer resolutions. One we already did. So I need to list the $844,107 transfer from capital outlay and economic development. Is that correct? Equipment reserve in the amount of $739,000.
Wait a minute. We need to take these one at a time. We need to take them one at a time. Yeah.
I thought we
if you wanna do 730P, check your top of that resolution.
Oh, okay, so instead of reading this whole paper, we'll just, okay, I misunderstood, sorry. I did the first one, correct.
Yes.
So move to approve resolution 730P, a resolution transferring funds to the Coffee County Capital Improvement Reserve Fund in the amount of $844,107.
I'll make the motion.
Tim will move.
I'll second.
Bob second. All in favor?
Aye.
Move to approve resolution 731Q, a resolution transferring funds to the Coffee County Equipment Reserve Fund in the amount of $739,000.
I'll move.
I'll second.
This is moved. Bob, Tim, John, seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Resolution 733L, a resolution transferring funds to the Coffee County Noxious Weed Capital Outlay Fund,
I'll move.
the amount of $100,000. Bob moved,
I'll second.
Tim seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Move to approve resolution 732. A resolution transferring funds to the Coffee County GIS Fund in the amount of $62,500.
I'll move.
Ellen's moved,
Second.
Tim seconded, Jesse seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. Resolution number 744O, a resolution transferring funds to the Coffee County Community Improvement Reserve Fund in the amount of $1,627,406.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Tim's moved, Bob seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
Hey, Angie, could you come here a sec?
Just give me 1 second. You can hold on a minute.
Timeout.
Resolution 767M. Resolution transferring funds to Coffee County Special Highway Improvement Fund in the amount of $1,073,721.
No move.
All second?
Jesse moved, Tim seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0.
And Jake for signing off on it.
Yeah.
Move to approve resolution 851B, a resolution transferring funds to the Coffee County Solid Waste Closure Care Reserve Fund in the amount of $2,100,000.
Also move.
All second?
Don moved, Tim seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes 5-0. So did we determine whether their power is turned on over there or not?
I didn't, because that's what I was gonna call before noon, and see if they can get that.
We told the city,
Transfer it,
Okay, so it should be done.
but we're not sure that it's on or off.
I don't
It's
know.
I don't think it is, but I could be wrong.
Things will run down again, I wanna make sure before noon, in case you're done too, they can get ahold of them before.
Okay.
I'll go around.
I'm sure they won't have trouble, probably turn it on.
The 10,000 on that risk management was from an audit adjustment, the auditor
I
did.
remember it discussed them before, but
And so Richard is correcting that on his sheet, so. For some reason, it didn't go over in his system.
I just remember discussion, I just don't remember.
I remembered the audit for some reason, and I'm thinking that was wrong.
So it's still, it's 9.999, okay. I remember
They
Phil.
happened last year.
We take breaks.
You gotta do anything else?
Are we done?
You're done.
We don't gotta wait till noon?
No?
You don't have to wait till noon.
We done.
Is there anything else you guys wanna talk about? Any sort of,
We got the veteran dollar flight I need to.
no?
When Veterans Administration out of Washington DC announced as either August or September, and I don't remember the exact date, that all the hubs could start taking veterans and guardians back to DC. I didn't have any idea what all the protocols were. And I did ask Jeff here last week, or Tuesday night, I guess, when I seen him. The protocol came in from, the Veterans Administration, or the Veterans, whatever it is back there. That if they wanted to host a Veterans Honor Flight, they had the right to do it. With everybody being totally vaccinated. That all came from the Veterans Administration. But there was another protocol. The other protocol was that everybody on the trip, and our trips there in SEC's 56, I don't know how many Opie takes on each trip, because that's what fills the buses. The other protocol that they could do, all participants had to be tested within 48 hours of the trip. All participants had to be retested 48 hours once they got home. Students were, what's the right word? Couldn't go back to school for 10 days. And in talking to Jeff, the protocol for not getting everybody vaccinated was gonna be such a tough deal to come and to accomplish. Because you have to keep yourself, everything has to be totally documented and subject to an audit by the Veterans Administration. I talked to Megan McGuire, I haven't met Megan. I talked to Mike, and I can't pronounce his last name, from Opie and Hartford. They made their decision in September to follow the protocol that everybody had to be totally vaccinated. It was not worth the effort not to follow that mandate. And I'm like all of you, I don't particularly like mandates too. But this is one situation to get it up and started again, that the mandate was probably the only right choice to go with. So, I don't know whether Andrew's got any questions, and I'm not sure I'm qualified to answer any questions, but the new protocol, there's a meeting the third or fourth week in February to what all the protocol will have to be done in April. And SCC's already got 2 busloads set up in April. Megan and Mike said they've got theirs all set up in April also for one trip, or 56 people. I assume it's 56. Mike told me that they had several veterans that wanted to go, but because they weren't vaccinated, they were unable to go in November. And the same thing happened at SEC. In order, Jeff goes down the list, and to get to the 24 veterans that were fully vaccinated, they bypassed 8 of them that weren't vaccinated. They weren't able to go because that was the decision by those people in charge. Opie's meeting next week to see what direction they're gonna go. And the people that's in that process, decision-making process, is the doctors, the 2 coordinators, Megan and Mike, plus a school person or 2. I don't know how, there's 5 or 6 on that committee. They're gonna try to make their decision next week on how to proceed ahead in April. SEC, I think, is gonna wait until they see what the new protocols are. So, I understand where people are coming from on mandates, but to me, this is a mandate that they probably followed the right way to keep everybody as safe as they possibly could.
Don, the national website stated that, from what I read, that you could either be vaccinated or you could be tested before the flight.
Yeah, that's what he said.
But they could also done locally then.
Well, you have to be tested within 48 hours after you get back.
Before and after.
And quarantine
the students for 10 days.
I think they moved the quarantine down to 5 now.
Well, they're currently talking about that,
Yeah.
but at the time the flight was, it was 10 days.
Right.
Those kids couldn't go to school for 10 days. So, to me, you know, they went the right direction. Jeff said the biggest issue would be if you'd went to the other, and Mike and Megan said the very same thing. The protocol to stay within that and to get everything totally documented and open yourself up to an audit was too difficult. And the people from Opie told me the same thing.
I just hate the part that some people was overpassed or not looked at.
And that's what Mike told me this morning. I talked to him this morning, probably 20 minutes. That's what he told me this morning. That's the reason they're gonna see what the new protocol is. The 5 days would be a plus if that's changed. And hopefully, the decision will be made by the Veterans Administration where they don't have a tougher protocol to follow in April. So, I did not go on the website. I don't know how to get all that stuff. I could probably just ask for it and get it on the phone. It was in August when they
Open it
started,
back
they
up.
opened it back up with precautions in place. Yeah.
I don't know, it's something we've done before. Last year we didn't do it, I guess, because of the COVID.
Because it was shut down totally.
Because it was shut down, you know, I don't, and I don't like they're mandatory in them to be vaccinated. I like the idea of testing prior to, but I'm assuming SCC went with just 100% vaccinated only without the option of testing.
And that's what OP,
Yeah, that's what they're
that's what
gonna
OP
decide.
Hartford did too.
They're
Yeah.
deciding on that, so.
And that was 2 doctors, and I suppose out of Emporia Hospital, someplace. 2 doctors is on their committee that helps make that decision.
I'm sure there's some liability risk that's been factored into that.
Yeah.
Oh. We've done it before. I don't like supporting the vaccination. I don't. If you want it, get it. If you don't, you shouldn't be forced into it. But, I mean, we did the resolution in Coffee County, and I believe the hospital is still requiring vaccinations.
Yeah.
And others. But, unfortunately, I think it's the new era we live in.
I'm afraid you're right.
I'm for supporting the veterans flag, but.
I am.
John, we need to make a motion, move.
Need a motion to contribute $2,500 to Veterans Honor Flight. Is that correct?
Where's it going?
Pardon me?
Where's it going to? Who's it going to?
Send it to the school, could I?
It can go both ways.
I think.
And there's no issue with that. There's no feather in our cap. All we're doing is promoting the program.
Right.
And we're butts off to make it happen.
So Southern Coffee County.
Goes to Southern Coffee County Veterans Honor Flight. That's where it's all gonna end up anyway.
Yep.
Like I said, 2 years ago, when we had the last fundraising, 15% of the 84,000 we raised, 15% of it went direct to the school.
We're gonna take the money from,
I don't recall where this has been coming from.
I threw my deal away. Just seemed to be.
It may have came out of general.
I mean, you could do that.
Sorry?
You could do that.
I don't recall where it came.
Contractual services line item.
That's probably the best place to pull it.
So, need a motion, $2,500 donation to Southern Coffee County Veterans Honor Flight Hub.
I'll second.
Jesse moved, Tim seconded.
I would like to just state this, I'd like to see them do a exemption somehow, if they can, for religion or for
Health.
health.
Mike told me out of the Opie area in Emporia, and I don't know where all the veterans come from, probably Lyon County, most of them, that, most all of them that didn't qualify under this protocol was doctors, medical.
I would
Told them they couldn't get vaccinated. They had
It
a
was their
medical.
best interest not to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I don't think they told them absolute no, but it was their best interest. It's kind of the way Mike,
I just have a question, I ask this question every year. How many of these veterans are actually from Coffee County?
religious or medical.
What'd you say, Bob?
How many of these veterans are actually from Coffee County?
right now, I can't, 2 or 3 or 4 on each trip, and I'm not gonna answer that for sure. I think there were 6 out of Woodson County this last time, but we get a lot of funding out of Woodson County. I think there was 4 out of Allen County, because we get a lot of funding, there's a lot of funding comes in.
I know for
from Allen
sure
County.
there was 2, the last trip that went was from Coffee County, other than, just because I had seen it on
Yeah.
Facebook.
I know, I think it was last year we had a gentleman, had a gentleman come in and thank us for sponsoring it, 'cause he was thoroughly thrilled about the event, so.
Yeah. I was told by one of them.
So Jesse did move, Tim did second it. Any further discussion? I guess, so that everybody knows, it's not just Coffee County and locals around Coffee County. The funds to fund this honor flight comes from several different counties, several organizations throughout the state, so to speak.
Yeah,
Tri-county area, is it, so
it's,
it's safe to say?
pretty well wrapped around Coffee County, but just like there were 2 or 3 from the Kansas City area. This last time, there were 6 that came from out west, that normally 4 to 6 that comes from out west, or where Mike Castle come from, who started the program. I don't know the exact dollars that they brought back this time, because they stay overnight, there's people put them up. But they always bring more than what their share is for those 4 or 6 veterans from, it's not Hillsborough, I forget the name of the county they come from. But, yeah, there's funds coming in. We have tremendous support from Allen County, tremendous, from Allen and Woodson County.
What does it cost to transport them out there?
I have not asked Jeff what this last flight cost in November, but the last one in 2000, it'd been November 20, November of 19. It was around $33,000 or $34,000.
They took 56.
Take 56. That takes care of, you know, the bus ride from here to Kansas City, and then of course back on the tail end, motels back there and all the eats, and the flight. Now the first 4 or 5 flights, Southwest does the flying. The first 4 or 5, they're on flight 18, just took place. Southwest flew veterans free.
Really?
But they discontinued that on flight number 6 or 7. I'm not gonna tell you, because I don't know all the details. But they did discontinue for 4 or 5 years, and then they discontinued to send the veterans free. So I assume this flight they had in November is probably in that 30+ range. And like I said, I'm not gonna say that one.
They don't get canceled.
Pardon? Well, there's no guarantee that the April flight will take. The reservations are all in place, I can tell you, for 112 people. That's like Mike told me, or maybe it was Megan, that, and they know Jeff quite well, that undertaking 112 and getting it all done, they don't know how he gets it done.
I can't imagine the nightmares.
And he's done it twice for the 112, and it's a huge undertaking. But he wants to get caught up on his applications, and current applications are around 130.
So again, Jesse's moved, Tim seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Aye.
Motion passes 4-0.
About $230 a person, roughly.
How much?
That 30,000, that 100 and whatever you said?
I think the last fight they had, like I said, I think it was 33.
Still
It's a little
under,
over
still under $300 then.
So it'd be a little over 5.
500, yeah,
Yeah.
500, which is
Pretty, you know, for a 2-day trip and everything that's involved, it's,
You can't drive to St. Louis and back for that in your own car.
Anybody else got anything they wanna bring up?
I know I speak on behalf of the veteran army. Absolutely appreciate helping to fund it.
Okay.
And the electricity will be turned on. It's not right now, but they will have it on some point today.
We got keys. Okay.
I'm assuming the water's shut off in there, 'cause it's gonna get really cold.
I believe everything.
So he hasn't rented that out for apartments for quite a while then? Do you have a key to it?
I do have a key, but.
You don't take me over, I wanna look.
Okay, yeah.
I haven't seen it since it was a church.
It looks pretty much the same. This is the basement,
Where was the apartments?
behind the, on the north.
Would be in where the classrooms and the stuff
Yeah,
were.
exactly.
And when you're walking on the east side, there's a door to go up instead of down. And those led to the apartments right when you walk in,
It's
to go up.
already.
All the church pews still in there?
No, it's empty,
There-
that person.
A lot of fixtures though, a lot of trim work.
Is the trim,
The chandelier still in?
Oh, yeah.
is all the trim walnut?
No, I don't believe so.
No, I
It's,
don't think it's, it might make a little percent.
I bet it's walnut or oak. Back then, that's,
Either oak or
Or
walnut
walnut.
in that
I think
year.
it's light, so I think it's.
it'd be,
oak
if it's
color.
light, it's gonna be oak.
It's a blonde color.
Yeah.
It'll be oak then.
Can't
Are all the doors oak?
You know, I've read through there, I was more interested in the
I would say
fixtures.
they probably are, they're
I was
solid
gonna
wood
turn, you know,
doors.
to let you know.
I mean,
Oh.
they got the flats in them, you know, the doors with the flats in them,
Yeah.
if I remember right.
Back then,
Three
they
panel
They
doors?
just weren't one big panel door, no, they were, all had little,
back then, they probably didn't have an air.
right.
No,
That church
they
probably-
wanted oak.
That church probably 100 years old, but
There it is.
I bet you a lot of that
Ron's
oak
actually got
is
the
quarter
the
salt.
apartment
too.
first, so
But
before
it
she
is,
leaves.
too.
If it is, it'd be some beautiful stuff there.
Finish with you, Bob, you can go turn around. Anything else?
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Well.
Be safe, that's next.
Let's be safe and next year's gotta be better.
One we can only hope. We'll turn at 11:56, so Monday, January 3rd.
Third, 2022, it's my brother's birthday.
You wanna take me over there, Andy?
Yeah, let me go grab Rhonda, she's got the apartment key section, if you wanna
Oh,
see
you
that,
can
'cause I've got the
order
main
next month.
key, I'll grab her